Yeah, my bad. Technical difficulties. Footy Fanatics FC live from NYC. We are here, and I got three phenomenal people joining me. What's good, y'all? I'm about to add them slowly coming in. Of course, my boy Staffy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all familiar with Staffy? Staffy was good.
It's good, broski.
How you feeling, broski?
I'm feeling the name, Yank Talk. I'm like,
Yanks talk football. You're getting me. Gandalf talk football.
yeah, I was pissed. I was like, why didn't I think of that name first? Because I'm not gonna lie, that name slaps.
I know that name hits different. Let me invite the other goat. I'm about to invite my boy Wavy Temi coming to stage. Hey, my boy.
What's good? What's good, fellas?
This is
What's good,
this is the
fellas?
panel, the Thursday panels. I'm about to introduce another friend of mine. He's a big time United fan as well. He got a lot on his chest. I'm gonna have my boy Jeff Gadd. Jeff Gadd coming to the building right now, and we got Jeff Gadd in the building.
What's up, Emily? How y'all doing?
What's good?
Good,
It's
what's good?
a bunch of Yanks in here, man. A bunch of
Big
Yanks in here.
Big time.
I love it. How y'all feeling?
I'm ready,
You've
man.
seen better
I'm
days,
ready.
huh?
Yeah, I know it's a little gloomy. It's a little
No.
gloomy. Huh? It's a little gloomy over Old
Can't
Trafford.
complain, man. I can't complain, man. Other than my club, life is good, man.
That's what I'm saying,
real.
and that's why I had a lot cooking in my head, and it was on. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it was going crazy. So I was like, I need the boys on this. And we need to talk about this. Let's start off with the massive elephant in the room. Obviously, you guys seen the news lurking of Jadon Sancho leaving after the whole situation. You get what I'm saying? So, what's your Staffy? What you thinking? Should he have went to Saudi? Should we let him go to Saudi? Because I know you're the biggest Sancho believer.
That's not true. I mean, what's his name? Temi's on me over here. He's with me on this one. He's been a little bit more critical than me. Maybe I'm babying Sancho a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm torn apart. A part of me wanted him to leave because I don't think this club is gonna be good for him. I think we're in quite a mess, and I'm tired of us ruining good players. In my opinion, we brought in a lot of good players that I don't think we treat them well. And it's not even a situation of just what's going on with Sancho. I just look at it historically. I feel like we always sacrifice the technical players, and we're like, oh, they're lazy, their body language. News coming out today. What's the name of the guy that reported it, saying basically like he's kind of like killing his character, saying, oh, he's always had issues with his character, and they said this in City and that in Dortmund and this in United, and I'm like, why is all this coming out now after the news? Like, no one ever spoke about the issues with his character until now. So I felt like he was just being killed online today. I didn't appreciate that. A part of me is happy that he didn't leave because I'd rather him work it out with Ten Hag and, end up proving us wrong and having a good career at United. But, I'm tired of us, ruining these players that I personally rate. That's a bit selfish of me, but that's how I feel, really.
And tell me what you say.
Yeah.
Jadon.
I'll start off by saying, like, I think Jadon is a very, very special player, even though he hasn't shown at Manchester United. On the conversation, I think his career so far he's been really unlucky, more so than I think a lot of people say he's played bad. I don't think he's played up to his standard, but I think he's been very unlucky. The first season he was at the club was Ollie's last season, and that was our worst season in Premier League history. Right? Nobody played well that season. Absolutely, everyone was terrible. You know what I'm saying? His second season, he comes in, he struggles with mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? He goes away for 3 months. He never really gets back on his feet. And then this third season, he just hasn't gotten consistent game time. All that being said, I still think what he did was stupid as hell. Like, if the manager says something about you, honestly, especially in the way Ten Hag said it, like, he didn't say it. I feel like a lot of people read the comments as opposed to watched how he said what he said. You know what I'm saying? And it was so matter of fact. It wasn't very critical. He just said, he didn't meet training standards this week, so he's not in the squad. And probably if Jadon shut up and just trained a bit harder, talked to Ten Hag and said, what do I need to do? He could have said, I don't appreciate that. What do I need to do? He probably would have been in the squad next week, and this would have been a non-story. But instead, he does that dumb shit, right? And he tries to call out the manager, which just never works. There's no scenario where you call out your manager via Twitter and you're gonna win. Like, it's not gonna happen. So
Notes,
yeah,
bro. That's
Yo,
what
he's a grown man on 350,000 pounds a week. He hasn't lived up to his expectation and his standards. If he feels as if there's a disconnect between what he thinks his training standards are and Ten Hag's training standards are, bro, maybe you just shouldn't be here. That's cool. You know, like I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good somewhere else. He'll be good somewhere else. But bro, like I'm good if he dips. Like I'm actually good because I don't think the manager did anything wrong.
I'm with you on that. Good.
Guys, I wanted to rub some salt on the wound and let you know that Amrabat just got pulled out of the Moroccan team with an injury.
That's crazy.
This is live?
This is right now. CK just messaged us that, and I went on Twitter and it just got posted 5 minutes ago.
Against who they playing? Liberia, right?
I'm not sure if it's even during the game. Yahya Jabran has joined the Moroccan national team. Camp rumors about potential injury for Sofiane Amrabat.
Wow. So he got pulled out in training. They didn't even play yet.
Mm-hmm.
He probably cautioned. He's like, yo, I'm being nah. He's probably one of those like, nah, I'm good. Liberia don't need to see me play. I'll be all right. It's one of those. It's definitely one of those.
I hope he's just pulling out for precautions, but
no, I think it's definitely one of those, especially with the situations going on. Let's not have these thoughts right now, yo. Please, bro. Please. I've been excited for that signing all summer. You know,
I just wanted to give you an exclusive.
That is the worst exclusive.
Yank Talk exclusive.
Oh my god. Jeff, talk to me about Sancho, bro. How you feeling about Sancho?
I mean,
what's your heart really telling you?
To add on to both of what they said, you know, obviously the players there, we've seen like flashes of it at Dortmund. He's had a few good stints when he came back from Holland. Camels, I should say, but you don't do that against the manager, right? Especially, I disagreed when Ronaldo did it, right? And Sancho's not Ronaldo. You're not an established player to be talking publicly back to the manager like that, you know. I highly disagree with it. Like Temi said, he should have just, you know, kept it on the low, went back to training, focused on what he had to do, come back stronger. But he only made things worse.
To be honest, the situation wasn't like Ronaldo, though. The Ronaldo situation, I think it was we all agreed that Ronaldo was wrong because that one was too obvious. You didn't play, you got upset, you walked out on the pitch, you did an interview. Everything just it was so easy to blame Ronaldo because even the manager didn't say anything until the Piers Morgan thing came out. But with the Sancho, and I agree I see why some people are divided. But the Ronaldo one, honestly, if you wasn't a Ronaldo fanboy, you wasn't really divided on that one. The Ronaldo one was easy. You just had to back the manager because it was pure disrespect. Whereas this one, you could be like Sancho. What about the rest?
How about Marcus Rashford being late?
And he took that on the chin. He
scored. He scored that game.
How about Marcus Rashford being late and coming on?
I'm not defending that. I'm just saying the situation was completely different.
No, I'm asking you. Is the Marcus Rashford situation a similar situation?
Rashford, to me, to be honest, Rashford at least got called to the game. If I'm being very honest, he got called to the game. He didn't get dropped from the squad.
Yeah, but the thing is, Rashford wasn't he late to the game?
He was late to a training
session,
like that,
training or whatever.
Yeah, he was late.
But the point is, he got called out very publicly before the game.
Yeah, but it was still disciplinary reasons, and he still went with the team. So it was like, oh, why is he not starting disciplinary? That's it. They didn't. Really
but that's to bench your star player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's completely fit
being like 45 seconds late to a meeting, and then calling him out for it very publicly. Like very publicly, this manager has been. The point I'm trying to make here is this manager has not held back on anybody. He has not played favorites with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like he feels as if you do your job, you will play. You know what I'm saying? Or you will be in the mix.
I think someone in the my fault for interrupting you, Temi. Someone in the comments said something great right here, right? And this is where me and you come in because obviously we're the both advocates for Mr. Man for the Spider and Wan-Bissaka, right? He was a person who was linked with you're getting sold. You're not even going to sniff the field. Bro, like if at one point I thought this guy was done, literally. Up until after the World Cup, I thought this guy, like literally maybe the first game or two after the World Cup, and maybe it's because like the low got hurt was a blessing to him. But ever since the first 2 games post World Cup, I said, okay, he's finally gonna get his run. But this is definition of getting linked with rumors of you getting cleared out. Nobody that coach not even rating you to just keep your head down and ball. And you know what? I'm gonna prove this wrong, and I'm a fight for my spot. And I feel like that's with Jadon. He was been protected. He's definitely been protected a lot, right? And we could all agree that last year he even sent him to Holland for a reason. I'm guessing Holland is some people he knew out there from I don't know, but he was obviously in Ten Hag's home, you could say. So he went from there to giving him a run of games again to get him back into form. And we still have yet to see that form to what Ged's talking about, okay, we're back in the Dortmund vibes. We're not getting that vibes no more. And that's what we need. And we had this argument before, Omar, where you expected Jadon? And I said 15-15. That's the expectations. And now it's looking like that's impossible. That's like I'm reaching 15.
It was always impossible.
It wasn't.
We all agreed that it was never going to happen. I don't know why you thought he was going to play 90 minutes for 38
Philip Billing had 7 goals and like 4 assists last season.
Philip Billing is going to play every game for Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I told you this guy wasn't going to play.
But you see, but this is the thing. We need Jadon Sancho to play every game. We need to have him.
He was never going to play over Antony, bro. And that's the whole issue, Omar. That's why he feels there's an agenda.
But
because
Antony
the guy's shitting out the place. No, but Anthony's been shit. And yeah, he's still not giving him a start over. And this is why he felt that way.
Forest and Arsenal, he showed up on both games.
Yeah,
it's not like he was.
How about the first 2 games?
Okay, we could literally talk about that whole 11 the first 2 games, bar Onana.
Exactly. I'm happy that you said that. I'm happy
and Varane and Wan-Bissaka. We could talk about that whole 11 except those 3. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Like it's just why. And Anthony's first season, I think he did better than Sancho's first season. Sancho's second season. So like we can't be picking on Antony when he's giving you more than Sancho did the past 2 years.
I disagree with that, but I completely disagree with that. But that's I digress.
Why is that?
I disagree with that because Antony. Again, I'm going to repeat this. Like, I'm not a big stats guy. I don't use goals and assists to measure if a player is good or not. I think that Jadon Sancho technically on the ball is just a much better player than Antony. Like when he is on the pitch,
1,000%.
He's just a better player than him. Even Antony has done some good. Like he scored some decent goals. The biggest goal being the one against Barcelona. You could argue that's our biggest goal of the season. But like as a whole, from 90, and Arsenal, the first goal for Arsenal. But like from a 90-minute performance perspective, there's never a time I see Antony on the pitch and think he's better than Jadon Sancho. You know what I'm saying? Like Jadon Sancho has had some cameos, he's had some cameos that are a bit, loose or whatever. Maybe he hasn't hit the heights in terms of, end product and getting the goals and assists. But Antony in the final third is one of the most horrendous footballers I think I've ever seen.
That also is true. Like decision making. Our left wing Rashford is pretty bad with decision making too. Anthony, final third we're just shit. At the end of the day, like we have, whether it's about making an off the ball run, creating space for the other man, it's just everything is all over the place. Like it has to be better.
Yeah, but I don't want to take too much credit away from Antony when I feel like that right side of the field is not helping too, and that's something we spoke about. As you see, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is getting a new contract. I'm a fan of Aaron, and I think Aaron is a solid defender. But the style of play, I don't think he fits the system that we are trying to play moving forward. You get what I'm saying? Fair. I feel like that hinders Anthony's performance.
I put it like this: you say that Antony needs a new right back. I say Aaron Wan-Bissaka needs a new right winger. That's what I feel like. I don't think that Anthony's a. I don't think Antony from. Okay, let me explain it like this.
So, but how about when you play other people on that other right wing?
I know I would get more if Jadon Sancho is on the pitch as opposed to Antony. I know I'm going to get more production as a team. Maybe not. Maybe he won't score the goal. Maybe he won't get the assist. But we will play better football in the final third if Jadon Sancho is on the pitch as opposed to Antony. Even with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's not that good offensively. You can't convince me otherwise. Now this whole drama thing is a separate subject like that. But if we're just talking pure football. Let me explain because I know people know I don't like Antony. I'm not a fan whatsoever, but I'll tell you the positives. Like from penalty box to penalty box, I think he's good. He's technically secure. He works his ass off. You know, he gets stuck in. He gives 1,000%. Like those are qualities that I think Antony has. But in the final third, literally, once he gets into that third phase, he is truly a mid-table to bottom half winger. I'm not exaggerating. I know there's plenty of people laugh at people. I'm not trying to be funny. I know people don't like this player, but people laugh at like Antony Elenga, right? You know, oh, he has these issues. He's not great on the ball. Da 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 da. At least I know with Antony Elenga, if he gets in the final third, he can get to the byline and put a ball into the box. I can get that at a minimum with him in the final third. With Antony, he's gonna try. He's either gonna cut in, right, and look for a sideways pass, or he's gonna cut in and he's gonna try and hit that curler that he hits once every 12, 13 games, right? Like.
Same style, very predictable.
He's predictable. He's not a good player in the final third.
Yeah, but then what does Aaron offer him other than an overlap?
Let me. Okay, I can answer that question. If it's Sancho, at least at a minimum, I know there's going to be ball retention. There's going to be ball retention. Two, he's going to find that pass that Antony never sees. In terms of just even if it's a 5-yard pass into the box into a striker's feet, Antony doesn't see that stuff. Jadon Sancho does. Now, it's not going to show up on the stat sheet as an assist. It might not show up as a goal, but we're more threatening as a team when Sancho plays. It's just a fact. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, all I need him to do is overlap and put maybe one cross into the box a game and be great defensively. And I'll survive for now. But the reason we are not playing well is because we have a left winger who's a very aggressive, explosive left winger, but he doesn't create anything for anybody. Then we have a right winger who's simply just not good enough. We've had strikers. We had Weghorst as our striker, last season. Now we have Højlund, who's going to be very good, but he's 20. Like, he's 20 years old. And then we have Martial, who just doesn't play because he's never fit. So people talk about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Bro, let's figure out how we can get our front three to actually be cohesive. Like, we scored 58 goals last season. 58 goals in the league, bro. Like, that's not the right back's fault. I'm sorry. It's not one right back's fault. It's the front three.
It's
and Bruno.
Oh, of course. But I just feel like Mr. Man Jadon got his burn and he got his time to prove that. And he's just like,
no. Wait, hold on. For everything that Temi just said and what you said earlier, do you now understand why? And I keep saying I'm not justifying everything that Jadon said. But we are sitting here saying that Antony didn't have a good first year. And so far, besides maybe the last 2 games where he did decent, he didn't do great, but he did decent to his standard. And we're sitting here and we're saying, yeah, he never gets dropped no matter what. Like, I can't tell you here. We can both agree that Sancho and Antony they weren't world beaters since we signed them, okay? We can both agree on that. We can all agree on that here. But how come Sancho, every time he plays bad, he gets dropped? But I can't remember any time that Antony played bad and he gets dropped. Antony, the only time he was getting dropped was when he was getting injured. And then he would come back, make one performance off the bench, but then he would start again. We can't sit here and remember any time where like the manager was like, you know what, Antony, you haven't been performing well. Back to the bench. Until you get some form again, I'll start starting you and I'll let the next man start. Sancho always gets benched when he's playing bad. And listen, rightfully so. If you're not playing well, I'm okay with him being benched. But how come Antony's not getting benched? And this is why when he says it feels like it's more of just training reasons, I think this is what he means. Because he's sitting there, he's seeing he's getting benched because he's playing bad. Someone else is playing bad, but he's still consistently starting, And this is where I think Ten Hag is inconsistent. Because you can't keep saying standards and being to the level of a Manchester United player, but you have players that are playing bad and they're not getting dropped no matter what. By the way, the same thing applies to so many players, same as Bruno. So many of us have been frustrated from seeing Bruno play for 90 minutes. There would be games where he's stinking out the place and he doesn't get subbed off. And we're like, why are you not taking him off? I don't care if the next man, you don't think Eriksen's on his level, blah, 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 or whatever. But you still, there has to be consequences when you're playing bad. It can't be the favorites still going to play no matter what. But the ones that I don't rate, if you're playing bad, I'm a bench you. It has to be all of them. And I don't think the manager's been consistent.
I personally just like, in my vision, when it comes to Jadon, I just feel like, and of course, when it comes to Antony, I feel like when Antony gets on, Antony gives us something that Jadon is not giving us, bro. And
It's grit. It's Brazilian grit. That's what it's. That's literally
South American.
It's the Dan James. It's the Dan James work rate. That's what you're getting with Antony.
No, 100%. And we spoke about
people wanted him. They wanted Dan James sold. Remember, might as well bring back Dan. I think Daniel James would do better.
I think Dan James.
Dan James was there. Like we signed Ronaldo and Sancho that same year. Like there's no space for him. Like we didn't see what Sancho was.
If we're gonna go by work rate only, bring back Daniel James, because Daniel James gave me one thing very well. He ran down that line, he went to the byline, and he crossed the ball. He was very basic.
And had electric pace. Had electric pace. Like people say, Antony's fast.
He was more impactful than both those wingers we're talking about.
Exactly. Sancho and Antony cannot take anyone 1v1.
But my thing is, when a man like Garnacho, a young 19-year-old kid, is getting that 6-man role to, okay, you know what? I need you in the last 20 to ball, right? Right? We all agree. I need you to jump. That's the same role Jadon Sancho was getting, but who took advantage of it more?
Sancho's not a 6-man, bro. But he's the thing. Well, you're comparing a guy that I am so Omar. I'm so sorry.
Don't hit me with bad news, David. Naveed is still hitting me. I think he's confirming this, bro. It's like this confirmed.
Nah. CK said it was bait. So look at Jake saying yes, he found Omar. Look, people are looking for you. By the way, guys, Omar won't say because he's not used to hosting, but everyone smash that like button for him.
Yeah, please. I'm not used to hosting. It's my first time. So first of all, thank you to the 12 people that are in here, and big up to my boys that are supporting, watching. This is going to be great.
12 people should at least be at 12 likes, and we're gonna see more of this. I'm gonna get Omar up to speed with the hosting thing. But listen,
back to the fraudulent 25. Back to the fraudulent 25.
No, bro. Listen, I'm tired of people comparing Garnacho to Sancho.
Yeah,
Sancho,
it's not a good comparison.
Sancho, bro. I'm sorry.
My bad.
Garnacho is not doing what Sancho did at his time when he went to Dortmund. Sancho already rates himself. He knows he's that guy. Yes, he can't do it in the United team. I get that. I agree with you, but I'm not comparing them because Garnacho has a lot more to prove still in a footballing sense in general versus Sancho, who we already have evidence that he could be that guy. The thing that pisses me off is like, how is he one of the best players technically in our team? We've seen him do it in a different team, but we can't get him to apply it here. Now, I'm not saying it's only our fault. Definitely he has some fault there. But, bro, we need to be putting our best players in this 11 and trying to get the best out of him. We can't just treat him like a 17-year-old who just came out of the academy who can only do cameos. We've seen him start and he can do nothing.
He got starts.
No, Omar. He never – I don't think Sancho's ever started 5 or 6 games on the bounce. I don't think that's happened. I could be wrong. I don't think he's ever had like a 6-game on the bounce stretch.
And he never had one possession, Temi. He was always getting moved around anyways. Left wing today, right wing today.
I will say, Staffy, let's be real about managers and how they pick players. Antony is Ten Hag signing. Let's just be real. Let's just keep it a buck. When you spend $80 million on a player that you begged for, they begged for Antony. Like, we all know this. You're gonna play that player. I understand that. I do disagree. I disagree. I'm with you in the fact that I think Sancho should get a run of 5 games. I think he should get rid of 6 or 7 games with Højlund and with Rashford, and we'll see what happens with that. I believe, well, before this whole situation happened, of course. Yeah. But like, I think he deserved that opportunity. He never really started 10 game season, boy.
Which 10 games?
Which 10? When did he start 10 games in a row last season? No way he started 10 games in a row last season.
I could have sworn he did. I could have sworn
I can remember at least like maybe 5. 5 doesn't sound too bad.
There's no way he started. There's no way.
He started a good amount too. Unless
but again, that's to me that season is a wash. That season is a wash. It's the Omar. It's literally we've had a bunch of bad seasons post Sir Alex Ferguson, and that was the worst one. That was the worst one.
2 goals that season.
I'm not disagreeing, but I just don't think he offers anything that he was like that he used to offer.
So how's he gonna get to that
form though, Omar? With Pogba, like when we would all come at Pogba, but you seen class from Pogba during games. Like, yo, if we unleash this guy or give this guy some better help, you're gonna see fireworks, right? We could all agree to that. When I don't even see flair, trickery from the boy anymore. Like, I just feel like maybe he's miserable, and I think maybe we're not for him, and he's not for us.
I will say that the game, my biggest issue with him is the physicality aspect. And the physicality aspect and two, when he's not playing great, the game it's almost like Scott McTominay-esque where the game just passes him by. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Scott has a bad when he was playing a lot and he had a bad game, the game would just drift and you wouldn't know he was there. And it's the same thing with Sancho where like it's not like he's playing, it's not like when he gets the ball, he's playing bad. It's just like he'll go through like 15-minute stretches and it feels like he's had one touch. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the real issue. And I think that's a deeper issue with this team and how we've built the team so far. I think again, I'm a big fan of Erik ten Hag, even though I think what's happening this season is just growing pains. And there's no manager that was ever going to fix this in 3 seasons or 2 seasons, whatever the case may be. But if he feels like Sancho is what we know from this man, I'll put it like this: what we know from this manager is that he wants physicality in his team. That's why he signed Mount. That's why he signed Amrabat. That's why he signed Antony. That's why he signed Højlund. Like he wants Onana. He signed physical players. That he wants that like grit in his team. And Sancho has quite frankly never had that. Like he steps out of 50-50s. He's weak. He gets shrugged off the ball too easy. So maybe honestly, sometimes I think maybe it's just a league thing. Maybe he's not built for the Premier League. Maybe he needs to go to Spain. I don't think we play
the way that suits him, by the way. I really think we misprofiled him when we signed him. Because I
finally agree with you on something, bro.
Because we signed him for counter-attacking football, if you think of it. All we did was counter-attacking football. And this football that we're playing right now is not even slow football where you're keeping the ball and you're passing it around. You can see, I'll tell you something, Sancho can fit in so many teams better than ours. He would do much better in that Spurs team because that Spurs team is all about link-up. Imagine Sancho dropping deep and just give and go with Madison and Bissouma. He would look much better. But when you look at the players that we play in this team, he doesn't even fit them because the way, especially when you play with Bruno, I think I'm not going to lie. I think if I was a football player and I had to play with Bruno, I'd find it really frustrating because this guy gives up the ball a lot and all he does is like all these long diagonal balls and just make runs. Maybe Rashford loves playing with him. But if I'm someone who wants to put my foot on the ball and just pass the ball around a little bit, move the team. If the team in front of me is just parking the bus and it's a low block, let's get them to move. Let's get them to like step out and do something, where we can find these little holes between them. We don't do that, bro. If you're being really honest, that's not even our style of play. We just look for the risky pass and like, oh, we didn't get it. We'll get it next time. I'd be frustrated. This is why Pogba, most of his time with Bruno, he didn't even look that good. Because we started being less careful with the ball and we start playing a lot quicker. And sometimes playing quick football is not good when you don't have clinical players. So I don't think he even fits this team, if I'm being very honest with you. He hasn't had a competent number 9 with him like he had Haaland. We've seen him, bro. I checked his stats the other day. He had 114 GA in 134 games. Like, come on, dude. That means only 20 games he didn't get a goal or assist. That's a crazy ratio. Sancho, he had 114 goals and assists in 134 games. That's a crazy ratio.
15 goals and 15 assists.
No, I get what you're saying. Listen, the reason what you're saying was unrealistic is because me and Temi already knew he was never going to get the minutes. And look at us now, 4 weeks in. The guy's actually frustrated because he can't get the minutes and he's calling out the minutes. Yeah, so me and Temi at the end of the day were right for telling you that you're wild for expecting that.
Where me and Staffy differ is just like, I don't think, even with all, I defended him vehemently just now, but I'll still say what he did was dumb. You still don't do that. Like, there's no excuse to say I'm being scapegoated. Like, you're a grown man, bro. Like, if your boss calls you out, like, just hold that for a second. Like, just hold that for a second.
But yo, I'm not gonna front, bro. I'm starting to see. I get where he's also coming from. Like, we lost 3-1. He had nothing to do with it. He wasn't up to par. They asked you a question, where's he at?
Exactly.
My boy took a massive straight bullet. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
It wasn't a straight. Like, no, it wasn't a straight,
bro. It felt like,
they made it seem like it made it seem so much worse.
It is. Listen, I do agree. I think they overdid it. 100% they overdid it. But still, like, if I'm sitting at home, I'm already pissed that I'm not there. My team just lost. I couldn't even travel with them and be a part of this. And someone comes up to me like, yo, did you hear what just happened? I'm like, no, what happened? The manager just said that you don't train good enough. I'm going to be sitting there. Obviously, he's emotional because he's not there and the team just lost. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's talking shit about me when I'm not even there. Like, I have nothing to do with the loss. I think on another day where, like, there's no emotions involved, I think he wouldn't do that. That's 100% silly of him. I think he was too reactionary.
Too rational.
If someone would have told him, like, listen, calm down, give it a few hours, go get some fresh air, go do something, come back. I don't think he tweets that. I think he did me. You know how I was going wild in the chat after we lost, and you're like, yo, you're at a head loss. I think he was at a head loss in terms of not being with the team, losing, and hearing the managers kind of slagging him off. You know?
Yeah, the issue is when you're saying he hasn't. I think he's better than Antony, but I still don't think he's played well enough to be calling himself a scapegoat, because you're not.
Yeah.
You're not a scapegoat. Like if Ronaldo can get if this manager has had beef, not beef, but not. I don't think this manager really cares. I think everyone's freaking out. I don't think Erik ten Hag cares whatsoever. I don't think he cares one bit about this whole drama. But like Ronaldo situation, handled it. Players leaving late, handled it. Rashford situation, handled it. Maguire situation, handled it. Like these players have much bigger cachet. Even Harry Maguire has more cachet at the club than Sancho. Like he's a terrible player, but he has more cachet at the club than Sancho. Like, and all of these situations, he just dealt with them the same way, very straightforward, very monotone, very matter of fact. So he's not a scapegoat. This manager has shown who he is. Like you're not special.
Maguire's had his chances too. Like even though Ten Hag backed him up, obviously in press conference and stuff like that, he's given him chances towards the end of last season, obviously due to injuries. But it's not like this is the first time it's happened with Sancho. Last year he went, like Omar said, to Holland 3 months. He came back, had a few good camos, and then same old Sancho. That's how he looked starting off this season as well. So it's like, enough is enough. Or you had your chances, right? Like 3 months, you're getting paid $350,000 or whatever it is. You go 3 months away from the training ground, doing your own thing, fixing your mental health issues, and it still hasn't gotten better, So I understand, like, enough is enough sometimes.
I mean, I really pray for him to show up, though, bro.
Of course. I don't have an agenda against anyone. I wish the best. We're all Man United fans at the end of the day. If academy player comes through the next week, bangs in 3 goals, like we're here for it. But we want what's best for the team.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with, and I just feel like he hasn't been like that factor, that X factor that we expected him to be. I swear to God, bro, I literally, when we signed Jadon finally, I thought my boy was going to eat. When I'm telling you, I thought assists, him and Bruno, I said it's over for the league. And then we got Ronaldo. I said,
and then Ronaldo the next week.
I said, we win in the league. We win in the league. It's done deal. I said, it's literally now that did not happen. It literally, I didn't even see, like I'm saying, I didn't even see like a fire through ball. You get what I'm saying? I didn't see like I was telling you though, at the end of the day, when we see Pogba as a scapegoat, technically, him and Lukaku, they offered a lot. Lukaku, bad season, scapegoat. He had like 18 goals for us, bro. And that was a terrible season, as much as we cracked down on Lukaku. And same with Pugs. We've seen glimpses, and I think we just expected so much from Paul because of his stature of a player. And he would go to France, and you just see a whole nother player. So I feel like, just to end off with the Jadon Sancho talk, I just feel like, can the boy really do it at Old Trafford? That's really what it comes down to.
I doubt it.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those. It's one of those. Now these Antony allegations.
There's another one that came out today. There's like a third girl that came out. She's gonna speak to Portuguese radio. Supposedly, like, he was drunk or something, and he tried to like sexually assault her. It's getting worse for him. And if the way we handled the Mason Greenwood situation, I think they're gonna have to take the same direction as that.
Yo, Jeff, so please answer him why with the green screen.
It's actually irritating me. It's irritating me. I'm telling him it's not a green screen. I'm telling him it's.
I mean, I don't know if it is. I think it's a blur.
No, it's a blur. It's a blur. Yeah, I got like, my room is a little.
That's what I'm saying. By the way, not the screen, not your background irritating me. The comment, because if you read me, I was like, no, it's not a green screen.
It's a blurry room.
Yeah,
I'm telling the guy it's a blurry room, and he's like, no, it's a green screen. I'm like, all right, you know better, because I don't fucking do this every day, so I don't know.
But back to Antony. Is he really in the shitties? Is really in the shitties?
Bro, they're
it's getting worse every day.
They're hounding him, bro. Apparently, there's a second woman, there's a third woman. They're all coming out all of a sudden. And listen, bro, if he's guilty for the first woman, I hope he you know
You know
he
what it
has to
is,
serve
bro?
his
I'm
time.
not trying to beat this dude right now, but it's females, bro.
That's I was about
Like,
to say.
I ain't gonna hold you. They need to be held accountable for ruining some
No,
I was
people's mindsets.
about to say
did
that.
you see what happened? They're gonna start coming for United now because supposedly, I think his wife or the girl that he's like being accused of hitting right now, the one that's going like mainstream, supposedly he hurt her and she called United doctors or something like that. I've seen that
No,
on
no, there was
Twitter.
United doctors with them,
And
they
they went
treated
and
her.
they went to like treat her and stuff like that, but they didn't say anything. They just kept it quiet. And now she's telling her lawyers, and her lawyers are speaking out that United was actually there and they knew about the situation.
Now, is this facts?
Yeah. That's been the story all along.
Wait,
And
so the
United
shorty
is
got
like
beat. So
denying
this is
the
the story.
allegations.
Shorty got beat, right? He abused her. She called the United doctors to take care
No,
of her.
the United doctors were there. So he beat up Shorty. The United doctors that were with them for whatever reason, I think it was
Why were they
during
with
Antony. I think it was because it was during an Antony injury or whatever the case was.
No, it was at the
They
hotel, yeah, right? The Hyatt.
Something
the Hyatt
like that.
hotel,
There were
yeah.
there was just meds, United meds available. They treated her, and now they're saying that United knew all along and they were covering up. And then two new shorties came out. They're like, "Well, we got slapped too." Look at Temi's face. Temi's like, "What the hell is going on with this club?" It sounds like the Jersey Shore. It doesn't sound like United. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like a football club.
When I told you that's the Manchester Shore. Remember when I told you?
Oh, it's not a football club. It's
They
literally
said
a TV
he
series.
has more accusations than goals this season.
It's reality TV. It's not a football club. We should be sitting here talking about tactics and formations and who should play next game, and we're sitting here talking about allegations and drama, bro.
This is not like this is because every day I wake up and the news is getting worse. The news is getting worse. So I'm just like, okay, is this another, Mason Greenwood situation that you know what I'm saying? And it's just like you're talking about 3-4 people's coming out, and I'm like, uh-oh. And we're not at a time to be losing anybody. I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? As much as I know some of us here are not advocate for Antony, but
nah, he can dip. I mean, if we're not talking like just allegations, I don't wish trouble on anybody.
that's a fact.
If these allegations are true, we will be a better team. I'm not trying to be funny. Like, we will end up being a better team if he's gone. Like,
It's funny, Temi. They're saying there was a case before he signed for United.
And by the way, I want to cover this too because I seen some news about this too. I don't know what's going on there. Someone sent me a screenshot about it earlier. That there was like we that United came and apologized because we did give Is that facts?
Yeah, I heard about it too.
Oh my God, this
club
is in the mud, bro.
Wasn't he invited to the women's game or something like that? And the club didn't know that he had like 4 cases of pedophilia or whatever.
This is what. So you know what? This is what it's gonna come down to me, bro. Like, I don't want to say Glazers out, but if you have a well-structured ran club with people actually doing their jobs,
why wouldn't you say Glazers out?
I'm just because at this point it just sounds like a broken record. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to sit and point at someone who's not even. But if you're owners of this massive club, how are you not on top of these? Because aren't they stock shares and holders and whatnot? Right? So
yeah, from a business perspective,
this is bad.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's very bad from a business perspective. The Mason thing was very bad from a business perspective. But that being said, like, I think the Mason thing, they handled it poorly in some aspects and then better. I think they handled it better early on, not so great at the end. This thing, they like I think our brother said, like, they have to kind of handle it similarly to Mason, where like if there is any iota of evidence like we had with Mason, he's going to be gone. Like, there's no question about it. Like, you can't take another route. Like, there's no other route to take. Genuinely no other route to take.
You know what's funny? If Brazil didn't drop him from international call up, we probably would have just kept
going.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
So that apply pressure.
Yeah, for sure. The Brazil dropping is huge. Like, one, the fact that Brazil, if Antony is playing for Brazil, bro, and Richarlison is playing for Brazil, bro, Come on, bro.
No,
What's
I'm
going
not gonna
on?
front. I'm not gonna front. He showed up for Brazil in that World Cup game.
No, he
Against Croatia.
didn't. Stop it.
Against
Stop
Croatia,
it. Showed up how?
He was one of the better players on that when we.
No, he wasn't. No, he
Bro,
wasn't.
stop.
Oh, stop it.
He came off the bench. He stopped. He was.
Oh
he was
my
better.
goodness. He did it. He did a couple little he did
No,
little cute little
he
tricks.
was actually doing what he was supposed to do for us: beat his man and get in the box.
Oh my god.
Pause. He was literally just doing that. You know what I'm saying? He was getting through. He was literally supposed to be doing what he did for us, and unfortunately, he was not doing that. And then now he's not beating his man. According to news outlets, he's beating somebody else. So it's like this is really getting out of hand to me. Like I'm just so confused because in my head I'm at this point where it's like I can't deal with this no more. I can't have this. We can't have this at a club. We already dealt with them. And it's not a good look for us, bro. It's not a good look for us at all. It's not big.
Nah, before we used to just be shit, but now it's other like outside
it's shit on the
influences
field and it's
too.
shit off the field.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Can't
saying?
get any worse than this. It can't.
And it's just like how are we gonna be able to? I'm personally, I don't think we're a title contending team for a long minute, bro.
But Omar, did you think that at any point? Even
When I thought
we should have never thought of that, Temi.
No, but when
Like-
Ten Hag came in,
you thought in 2 seasons, you thought 2 seasons would do it?
I didn't think 2 seasons would do it, but I think this season would be a better season, bro. It looks like this season about the worst season.
Can I tell you? Go ahead, Temi, and I'll go after.
No, my bad. I was gonna say I know this has been a crazy start to the season, but
that happened last season.
But somehow, no, yeah, I mean last year, but somehow, some way, I still think we'll finish third. I genuinely believe that.
I still think we will. Yeah, I agree with you.
I think it'll make us contenders. I think it's gonna be a lateral. I genuinely believe this is gonna be a lateral season. Fans will not like lateral. Fans don't like lateral. They only want to see us go up. But I think if this season is lateral, I'm cool with it. Now people say, "Oh, you're lowering the standards." No, I'm being realistic with the cards this man has been dealt. Our injury record is ridiculous right now. Like it's. I can't believe that Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans were starting, or not starting, but had to play. That's how bad it is right now. Like those are 5th and 6th choice center backs. No funny. That was 5th and 6th choice. Like I can't blame the manager for that. I can't blame the manager for the Mount injury. I can't blame the manager that the club couldn't get Amrabat in on time or Højlund in on time. Like a lot of these things are out of his control. I can't blame him for the Mason Greenwood or Antony situation that's going on. And I still think, despite all the craziness, we're gonna go on a run this season. I think we'll go on a 9 unbeaten run. 100%. I think we'll go on a 9 game winning streak or 10 winning unbeaten.
I agree with you, Tim.
It's gonna happen.
As negative as I sound,
as this has been, there's gonna be a period in the season where we're going to do well. I'm convinced of that.
And if you really deep it, also, we won both our home games this season. We know we were really good at home last year. We lost Tottenham away, right? Arsenal away. Tottenham, we get that penalty. I'm not blaming the ref. I'm not gonna say this and that, but we go into halftime 1-0, different game, right? Arsenal,
Bruno
exactly.
Sitter, yeah.
Arsenal, same thing. I don't think we deserve to lose. We lost. It is what it is. But we tie that game. We come out. We have 9 points from the first 3 games plus a draw. We have 10 points from 4 games. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Can I say something also on what Temi said? Because me and Temi tend to agree on a lot of things until the whole Jadon Sancho thing happened. But on the norm, we do agree on a lot of things. And because we see, I think me and Temi see football from the same lens. The thing about Ten Hag, which makes me, as much as I'm being reactionary when we lose, because I never like losing, but I am convinced that we're still going to have a good season for these reasons right here. When you really look at it and you actually deep it, we weren't going to have a better season than last season for these reasons. We're going to have a lateral season, like you said, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a better season. We are doing some things this summer that, if we're being very honest, and if you actually understand how a rebuild is, we're doing it a year late, okay? The reason we finished well last season is because Ten Hag fixed some of the issues that were easier to fix, and then he was like, next year, I'll do the bigger things. So we addressed so many of our bigger issues this summer versus last summer. We're getting a striker a year later. He's 1 year late. We're getting a DM 1 year late. And I'm not counting Casemiro, and I'll explain why. We're getting a goalkeeper 1 year late. You basically signed three of the biggest positions, if you're being very honest. your goalkeeper, your DM, your striker, all at the same time. When you change three big positions like that at the same time, it takes time for everything to gel and everything to work because it's a new system. It's a new style of play. Onana alone being in this team is, by the way, exposing a lot of the players because this guy's feeding them the ball so much versus what De Gea was doing last year. And because now they actually have a lot of the ball, they don't know what to do with it. They were so used to hoofball, and now that they actually have to play football, some of them look ass, you know? DM, same thing. We wanted to get De Jong last year. Yes, granted, he's not a DM, but he's a ball progressor. I still believe that we got Casemiro as a stopgap. We were like, you know what? We can't play football the first year. Let me at least defend well the first year. And we did do that. We defended well last year, except for the couple of games where we got spanked. A striker. We went in with Ronaldo. Ronaldo dipped halfway through the season. They were like, we can't get you a new striker. But listen, we can get you Weghorst. Do you want Weghorst or you want nothing? He's like, give me Weghorst because it's better than nothing. We actually didn't have a striker. So when you see the issues that he's addressing this year, when people say he's in his second year, he should have had a style play already. Unfortunately, he did have 1 year under the belt in terms of on paper. But when you actually look at how he played last year, it has nothing to do with what he's trying to do this year. When Pep first came in, the first thing he did was get a goalkeeper. When Ange came in, first thing he did, he got a goalkeeper. If you remember, even with the Klopp, it took Klopp about 3-4 years to actually be a good strong team because he got Alisson about 4 years later. The minute he got Alisson in, by the way, his football completely transformed.
But yo,
it actually became a serious team since. So we're on the same boat, Omar, right now. Whereas like we're gonna have another year of rebuild. This is why anyone who thought we're gonna compete is actually insane because we are addressing bigger issues this summer versus what we did last summer. So we're going to transform more this season, and we're going to take longer to actually become what Ten Hag wants us to become just because of all the changes he did. However, what Temi said is like we're going to go on a crazy 10-15 game run of being undefeated. I agree with him because now that we actually address the bigger issues versus last year, when it actually clicks, it's going to look beautiful. It's going to look so much better than last year because last year we actually went through a run too. But last year we were just being careful. This year, the minute it clicks, it's going to look so much better because he actually addressed all the big issues, which was the goalkeeper, DM, and striker. So when it works, it's going to hit sweet. It's going to be so beautiful.
In fairness to him, too, the players that he brought in, let's include Mason, all the players didn't even get a run to play together. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can't wait to actually see how it pops off, you know? But I've yet to see Højlund, Mount, Amrabat, all on, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I'm also, now that you mentioned Onana, and I'm glad that we brought this topic up, is because there's a lot of comparison between him and David De Gea right now. And of course, you know, playing for this, to represent this shirt, it is massive. You know, it ain't easy. So I feel like he's getting a lot of stick. What do you guys feel about that? I personally think he's been our best player.
Yeah, of course. 100%. You know, De Gea has obviously been our savior for many of the years prior. But like Staffy said, first thing every manager does when they arrive, they get a goalkeeper, right? It changes your play instantly. You could see how much more comfortable the players look having Onana back there. They look more secure. You know, Onana as well, he organizes them very good. Very calm on the ball. Like we're playing so different now in terms of being comfortable and you know, like if we had De Gea still, we're not playing this way, bro. We give him the ball back, he hoofs it up. That's it. The other team.
Oh, and we're sitting back, bro. We're sitting back. That's it.
And to De Gea's credit, obviously, probably top 3 shot stopper in the world, like past few seasons. But at a certain point, you have to sacrifice the shot stopping ability for playing a more modern style of football.
I agree with you. You know, I mean, Omar, you boxed. You understand when there's a difference between just protecting your face for a few rounds. You're obviously at less risk, but the minute you start throwing hands, you're actually leaving yourself more exposed now to getting hit. And this is what we're doing with Onana right now. Now that we're actually playing expansive football, we're playing higher up the pitch. When we don't have the ball, we're not sitting as deep as we were. Our line is actually about 10, 15 yards higher than it used to be. So there's a lot of more of one-on-one defending that has to be done. And more players are being exposed versus last year. So, listen, when I see people talking about him not saving a one-on-one, instead of me looking at how he tried to save it and why he failed, I'm more of looking at like why was he even in a situation where he was one-on-one with a striker? Because that's twice we conceded what 7 goals. 2 goals of them so far have been one-on-ones, that Uni one and the one versus Jesus. Why is he being left one-on-one? Let's address that. The deflection goal. Oh, but Allison would have saved that. Okay, we always knew that Allison makes these crazy saves because he's the best goalkeeper in the league, arguably in the world. So comparing him to the best goalkeeper, shot-stopping goalkeeper in the world is not actually a bad insult, you know? I'm looking at the goals that he's conceding, and I'm like, whatever. Any goalkeeper would concede that. If you save him, good for you. You're not expected to. You're not expected to save one-on-ones unless you're really elite, you know? But what he's given us on the other side, which is what's called ball progression, that completely transformed this team. And when Kobe Mino comes back, when Amrabat plays, when Højlund plays, and you have better players that will treat the ball better, they're not going to treat it like a grenade and just get rid of it as soon as they get it. You will start seeing, okay, I'm happy now that I have a goalkeeper that can reach them with the ball, because these are guys that can actually play ball. But when the players around him, and this is why also I mentioned Aaron Bissaka, and he's not the biggest issue because I know Temi likes to defend him, but he's one of them that will have to be addressed soon because he's also one of our weak links in terms of on the ball. When you have, you're never going to have 11 footballers that are great on the ball, but when you have 10, if you have 9, that's good enough to have a whole team that, like, listen, we can all keep the ball collectively right now. Because when you look at City as an example, Haaland is not the best at keeping the ball. Walker is not the best at keeping the ball, but pretty much everyone else is. So it kind of makes up for the couple deficiencies. You know what I mean? When you have enough players, a.k.a. Casemiro not being our main DM, a.k.a. Bruno not being our main creator, a.k.a. having Amrabat in that team, having Meno in that team, having a competent right back, because I don't think neither of them are good enough. They might be good, but they're not good enough. When you have enough of them that are actually so good on the ball, you're going to start seeing, okay, now I appreciate having a goalkeeper that can pass them the ball. Because even when you look at Pep, I keep mentioning Pep because he does things perfectly. When you got a goalkeeper, he changed his whole back line, bro. Remember that one season where everyone was like, yo, he's spending 50 million on each defender. 50 million on Stones, 50 million on Walker, 50 million on Mendy on the left, 50 million. I forgot there was one more. He was signing a bunch of defenders.
Laporte, I think.
Laporte came a couple seasons after. I forgot who he got in his first. I know he signed 4 defenders. And I'm like, bro, why is he signing all these defenders? At the time, I didn't understand football the same way I understand it now. But when I look back at it, I was like, bro, he changed his whole back line. First thing he did, got Claudio Bravo, changed his 4 defenders. Next season, got Ederson. And I was like, he changed his back line. You know why? Because that was his base. He was like, I'm going to build from the bottom up, you know? So once we start having more competent players around Onana in the 11, you're gonna start seeing it. But you know, when you're giving it to Casemiro, who's not really the best under pressure, not the best passer, he's not he's not good on ball retention, and a few others that I named, it's hard to see what the goalkeeper brings. But you will see it eventually when the team is correct. And I'm fully backing him. Like Omar said, he is our best player, regardless if people want to make fun of him for his saves or not.
You're on mute, Omar.
My bad, boys. I didn't even realize. Whatchamacallit? My son was bugging out outside, so I just was making sure it doesn't hear. But now that international break is about to, once it gets over, what's the expectations? Obviously, Brighton coming back. What do you guys like? Tell me, for example, what are you looking for?
Yeah, I think the expectation is we haven't seen a 90-minute performance that's cohesive so far. We've had moments in a few of the games. We had the first 30 minutes of the Spurs game was really good. We had moments after we went down 2-0 versus Nottingham Forest. There was a lot of spells of play that were really good. Even in this Arsenal game, I think that we were just talking about Onana. I think there was spells that Onana really killed Arsenal's momentum with the way we were just passing in our own half, right? So there's a lot of we need to just Ten Hag needs to get the mesh working. We've had a lot of injuries, right? So I think it's going to take more. We're going through growing pains, and we might go through growing pains for another month. I'm going to be real. I think it's going to take till like November, December time.
A repeat of what we went.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, but much more. It's going to be much more difficult because we're asking the players to do harder things. He's asking
play
more.
UCL, play do it.
Exactly. We have to play in the Champions League. He's asking him to press high up the pitch. He's exposing our defenders a bit more. I think a lot of our players are, well, not a lot, let me not say a lot, but players that were great last season, i.e. like Lisandro Martinez. I don't think Lisandro Martinez he's looked like a shell of himself this season.
Agreed.
Right? So there's a lot of things that I think we need health and we need just more time to work on what he wants to do. I've seen glimpses of what we want to do, right? From if you obviously if you know, I try to rewatch the games and you see glimpses and you know you see patterns of play, you see formational, you know,
like the
formational
Tottenham
changes.
game, first half.
Exactly.
That's
yeah,
like,
you see what he wants to do, even with Mason Mount, who people don't like. I saw what he was trying to do. The issue is now just everyone needs to get back to that form, you know, especially some of our better players need to get back to form, and we need to be patient as fans. I'm gonna be real. I'm seeing so many fans lose their minds. Obviously, no one wants. I never want to lose. I'm pissed when we lose, but I'm understanding that this is much deeper than all the noise that's around it. And I think this manager doesn't hear this noise. I genuinely don't believe he cares about any of this stuff that's going on, all this drama, all of this stuff with Jadon. Like, I don't think it phases him. I really don't think it phases him. I think he's just truly focused on football and getting his players to do the right things. And I think it'll come. It's just going to take some time. It's just going to take some time.
I agree. I just hope, bro, you know, to really end it off, I just hope we see a proper stride in this team, because so far I'm just seeing injuries, cases, and like I just feel like structurally we are far from where we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I don't know where, like, Jeff, what you thinking, what you expecting on the comeback? You know, same with you, Staffy.
I mean, we have Brighton at home, right?
Yeah.
We're not
Brighton, then Bayern.
Then who?
We're not gonna lose to
Bayern.
Brighton. They're balling, but at home, the fact of the matter is we don't lose. You know,
they've been our bogey team. You gotta admit that.
I mean, they're the last team that beat us at home in the Premier League, and that was a whole year ago. Mm-hmm. So, the way things are going right now, it's bad, but it's not that bad. You know, I expect to win. Obviously, hopefully, I think Colby's gonna be back. Mount. They said Amrabat, but now he's supposed. I don't know if they're trolling or not. But you bring these guys back into the team. You let them get comfortable with each other. You know, learn from each other, obviously. And this is a perfect game to do it against a really good team.
I think we need statements. 2 statements right now. So Roberto De Zerbi hype. You know what I'm saying? You come in, you snap, you take the snake by his head, chop it off.
We're gonna have like 35% possession in that game. Just prepare yourself now. Like it's gonna be Brexit. It's gonna be Brexit football. Like we're gonna be behind the ball and counterattacking that game. I can already see
it. Really depends who's playing that day. I'll wait to see if it's anything close to what we've been using the first 4 games. Then yeah, I agree with you. But if some of the names that we talked about are gonna be there. If Hoyland, I think Hoyland will be ready to start because he was getting minutes today. Apparently, he played good for Denmark today. And if that midfield is ready, then we'll see what happens. But you know, I agree with you. Is if it's the same as it stands right now.
Then we got Bayern. That's another snake you got to smoke by his head, because you got to make a statement in that UCL group and in that UCL tournament in general. I personally
in Germany as well.
I think we could have a great run in that tournament itself.
I do too.
I agree, because let's say best case scenario, finish second. You finish second, you don't play Bayern, obviously. You don't play City, who's going to finish top of the group. You don't play Arsenal.
Well, you don't play English teams in that round.
In the round of 16, yeah. Assuming they finish first, obviously, right? So you have Madrid left, probably Barcelona, and then toss up with PSG, Dortmund, AC Milan, whoever's top in that group. So, you know, you finish second place, you get a lucky draw, round of 16, and that's what happened to Inter last year. You see the teams they played going into the final, you know. It's Champions League, it's a knockout tournament, you beat who's in front of you, but if you have, like, that luck on your side, you go on a run.
I just think
it's not all sunshine. I was going to say, it's not all sunshine and rainbows in Germany either, by the way. I'm hearing
of course,
from the Munich camp. Yeah, they're saying that they're not happy with Tuchel for saying certain things about the transfer market and some of the players, I believe. So, listen, they have amazing players, but they're not playing scintillating football anyways. So, on the day, you know anything can happen in football. On the day, you never know what happens. I'm going to be very honest with you. You go to the Allianz Arena, you pick up a point, I think you should be good.
Perfect.
You know
Perfect.
that,
Yeah,
because
and then you bring them home. You bring them home, and then you.
That's gonna be. Listen, going to Germany, those are the hardest 3 points. I know Steve is in the comments saying don't underestimate Galatasaray and all that. Listen, I'm not underestimating, but I think it's very logical to say that the hardest points for us this group is when we go to Germany, when we go to Munich. So I think that's very fair to say. You leave there with a point, I think you're good. Early point from the lines, basically. You know, so.
But we can't afford, like you said, to underestimate any of those teams, because that's what happened to us when we had PSG, Leipzig, and the other Turkish team. We lost that game away. Yeah. And I have PTSD still to this day.
Everything. The same way we conceded against Forest too is the same way we conceded against. But remember, Besiktas where it was off a corner, and then before someone was through, I think it was Demba Ba was through 1-on-1, and
he had Matic running at him. I'll never forget that sight in my life. Imagine Matic trying to track down. He's the last one trying to track back the defender. I mean the attacker. Horrible sight. And you know what's even crazier, Temi? We had 6 points going into that game.
Yes, we beat PSG. Yeah. We beat PSG and we beat Leipzig.
And we smacked Leipzig 5. We smacked Leipzig 5.
All we had to do was win that game.
Literally, and we're through. Yeah.
And then all we had to do after we lost that game was to lose, like I think it was 2-0 to
Leipzig.
Oh yeah, we lost. We went down 3-0 against Leipzig. We went down 3-0 against Leipzig and tried to come back
with the 3-2. But it was something that I think.
Even before that, we would have qualified, I think, with a point against PSG.
With a point,
we needed 1 point from 2 games, and we didn't get 1 point from 2 games.
Yeah.
We
needed a time.
We still didn't get
we have to get 10 points by the time match day 6 comes, because we play Bayern last.
No, we play
when all the pressure's on us.
So Bayern is the
second to last.
Game. Yeah.
Fifth? You sure?
Oh, yeah. Usually that's how it is. You face the first team, and then you face them again in 5, and then in the second team you face
3
them
and 4 is the same.
And then the third team and the fourth are usually the same.
And I don't think Galatasaray going to be easy, but we'll see. I don't think they're going to be easy, but I just pray after this international break. When's the Brighton game?
It's next week,
September 16th, Saturday.
So that's
not
quick.
This week. I'm sorry. The
one the following. Yeah. That's
like
quick. I just pray you get that healthy 11 again. That's all I'm praying. I don't.
By the way, did you know that Højlund's brothers play for Copenhagen when we face them?
That's gonna be.
He has twin brothers, and he's facing them. So the twins play for Copenhagen. So he's gonna play. He's gonna be facing his twin brothers.
That's gonna be cute. But yo, let's wrap this bad boy up. I appreciate y'all for jumping on this. Yanks talking football. As you see, the Yanks, we get down, man. The Yanks get down. The Yanks get pause. You know what I'm saying? We really know our knowledge. Yo, Staffy, let them know where to find you, my boy. Let them know where to find you.
Click on the comment so it can disappear and show our banners.
Oh my
hide the comment. There it is, right here. Staffy_TV.
That little LED light to the top too. You get me?
Wait, let me turn it on.
Turn that on, bro. I see the ring light. Hey. and Temi's mic, yo, I'm not gonna front Temi.
I need Temi's mic. Sometimes
be hypnotizing me. I be just staring at it, just change colors, and I'm just like,
I need that mic,
bro.
I need that mic. But listen, man, big up for having me. Big up to the boys. Jeff, obviously, it's my first time meeting you, but we'll be doing this more. So big up to everyone who joined us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay tuned, because this is episode 1, but it won't be the last one. And so big up, bro.
For sure. Wavy Temi. Talk to them, my boy.
Appreciate all y'all that were in the comments. Make sure to follow my boy Omar, Footy Fanatics, you feel me? But y'all can find me on Twitter and TikTok at WavyTemi_. I do YouTube as well, but my network is some crap right now, so I need to fix that before I start live streaming again. But yeah, no guys, follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to get to 12K on TikTok, so show your boy some love there.
Big baller Jeff Gadd. Talk to them, my boy.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you to Staffy, Wavy. Pleasure to be on stream with you. That's my Twitter handle right there, Jeffrey Gadd. You can find me on Instagram, JeffGadd10. I'm from the city. Any United ballers want to play pickup, you know what I'm saying? We could do like a United thing before match day or after match day or something like that. But thank you. And like Staffy said, first episode, but not the last one, especially with the way we are right now. Won't be the last one.
That's a fact. Yo, my boys, thank you for having you. And that's Footy Fanatics FC live from NYC. We'll be back next week, and I'm going to catch y'all.